Excuse me. I am standing right outside the historic wooden door of Russ and Daughters on East Houston Street in the Lower East Side of Manhattan for the very first time. And I want to walk up to the long appetizing counter and order the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop like a local, but I do not know what to say in English.
Hi, I am Emma. Today's English is slow and easy. Just relax and listen along. Have you ever walked through the door of a packed legendary appetizing shop? Looked at a long glass counter full of glowing pink hand-sliced lox? And just frozen. Smoked whitefish gleaming softly under warm shop lights, fresh-baked bagels stacked in soft tan baskets, tubs of cream cheese and crisp half-sour pickles, warm chocolate babka on the back shelf, friendly counter workers slicing lox paper-thin, the gentle hum of Lower East Side regulars chatting softly across the black and white tiled floor. And you thought, I want the best hand-sliced lox bagel in this whole shop. But how do I even ask? What do the locals actually order? What if I sound like a clueless tourist? Today, Hannah is going to walk through the historic door of one of the most legendary appetizing shops in all of the world. Russ and Daughters on East Houston Street in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. The legendary family-owned Jewish appetizing store opened since 1914. Hand-sliced lox, smoked whitefish, sturgeon, pickled herring, fresh-baked bagels, cream cheese, half-sour pickles, warm chocolate babka, glowing neon Russ and Daughters sign, black and white tiled floor, the whole heart of old New York packed into one legendary shop on East Houston Street. And here is the magic part. Hannah is going to use one tiny, polite phrase with a friendly Russ and Daughters counter worker that will turn a packed appetizing counter into her personal Russ and Daughters lox tour and score her the legendary hand-sliced lox bagel of the morning. You can use this exact phrase the next time you want the best bagel at any appetizing shop, anywhere in the world. So grab your appetite. Let us head into Russ and Daughters. Welcome back to Easy English with Emma. Today, Hannah is starting her warm bright morning hour on the sidewalk of East Houston Street in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, stepping in from the busy sidewalk beneath the glowing neon Russ and Daughters sign into the historic appetizing shop. In front of her, the historic wooden door of Russ and Daughters, the long glass appetizing counter stretching wide and full beneath the warm shop lights, the glowing pink hand-sliced lox laid out on the cool counter, the smoked whitefish and sturgeon and pickled herring gleaming softly, the fresh-baked bagels stacked in soft tan baskets behind the counter, the tubs of cream cheese and crisp half-sour pickles, the warm chocolate babka on the back shelf, the black and white tiled floor, the old wooden display cases lining the walls, the soft hum of Lower East Side regulars chatting softly across the warm shop, and the warm cinematic old New York morning atmosphere filling the whole appetizing shop. She has 3 missions. 1. Walk into the historic appetizing shop of Russ and Daughters and ask a friendly counter worker about the famous hand-sliced lox. 2. Walk up to the long appetizing counter and ask a friendly Russ and Daughters counter worker for the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop. 3. Find the warm back corner near the babka shelf and ask a friendly older Russ and Daughters worker for the best East Houston Street morning tips. In the US, UK, Canada, and Australia, walking into a packed legendary appetizing shop like Russ and Daughters can feel overwhelming. Long glass counter, hundreds of regulars, glowing pink hand-sliced lox, baskets of fresh-baked bagels stacked high behind the counter. But do not worry. With the right polite phrases, even the busiest counter worker at Russ and Daughters will smile and share the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop. By the end of this video, you will be able to walk into a real New York City appetizing shop like Russ and Daughters with confidence. Use the magic phrase to ask a friendly counter worker for the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop, not just any bagel. Talk about real Lower East Side shop life. Hand-sliced lox, smoked whitefish, sturgeon, pickled herring, fresh-baked bagels, cream cheese. Half-sour pickles, chocolate babka, neon sign, black and white tiled floor. In simple, natural English, and enjoy Russ and daughters like a real Lower East Side local. Ready? Let us step into Russ and daughters. Here are today's 5 Russ and daughters key phrases. Repeat each one after me. Nice and slow. Key phrase 1. Could you recommend the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop? Could you recommend the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop? Beautiful. This is today's magic phrase. Use it with a friendly counter worker at Russ and Daughters. Or any worker at any appetizing shop, deli, or bakery in the world. Instead of, "What's good?" or "What should I get?" you are asking for the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop. Suddenly that counter worker becomes your personal Russ and Daughters lox guide. Key phrase 2. What's the best way to enjoy Russ and Daughters? What's the best way to enjoy Russ and Daughters? Lovely. Use this with any friendly worker at Russ and Daughters. Asking about the best way to enjoy. Instead of just, "What do I order?" Invites the worker to share the real story behind the hand-sliced lox, the fresh-baked bagels, the smoked whitefish, the warm chocolate babka, and the 1914 family history of the legendary Appetizing shop on East Houston Street. Key phrase 3. Could you recommend the perfect bagel pairing? Could you recommend the perfect bagel pairing? Great! Use this at the long appetizing counter of Russ and Daughters. A small open question turns a quiet counter worker into a whole morning of Russ and Daughters tips. The perfect lox and cream cheese combo, the warm fresh-baked bagel of the morning, the perfect pairing with capers and red onion that Lower East Side locals love to order. Key phrase 4. Where do locals actually sit and eat? Where do locals actually sit and eat? Perfect. A super useful phrase at any packed appetizing shop in New York City. Asking where locals actually sit and eat. Instead of just, "Where can I go?" Get you the warm stoop right outside on East Houston Street, the quiet bench just around the corner, the perfect spot for your Russ and Daughters bagel. Simple, friendly, and works at every appetizing shop in Manhattan and beyond. Key phrase 5. What's the best appetizing classic to try? What's the best appetizing classic to try? Wonderful. Use this with a friendly older worker near the babka shelf at Russ and Daughters. The shop has layers. The hand-sliced lox, the smoked whitefish, the sturgeon, the pickled herring, the chocolate babka. Asking this tiny question turns a friendly worker into your personal Russ and Daughters morning planner. One small question, a whole hour of insider tips along the long glass counter of Russ and Daughters. These 5 phrases are gold for Russ and Daughters. And for any appetizing shop, deli, or bakery in the world. Now let us see Hannah use them at Russ and Daughters. Alright. Hannah has just stepped through the historic wooden door of Russ and Daughters on East Houston Street in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, the warm shop lights of the appetizing counter wrapping around her instantly. The bright morning shop glows warmly around her. The long glass appetizing counter stretching wide and full beneath the warm shop lights, the glowing pink hand-sliced lox laid out on the cool counter, the smoked whitefish and sturgeon and pickled herring gleaming softly, the fresh-baked bagels stacked in soft tan baskets behind the counter, the tubs of cream cheese and crisp half-sour pickles, the warm chocolate babka on the back shelf, the black and white tiled floor. Friendly Lower East Side regulars chatting softly across the warm shop. Right by the historic wooden door just inside the appetizing shop of Russ and Daughters stands David. A friendly Italian-American man in his late 50s with warm tan skin, short salt and pepper hair, kind eyes, and an easy welcoming smile, wearing a plain white short-sleeved appetizing counter shirt under a plain white apron, his hands resting easily near a small stack of plain paper number tickets, looking up with a warm patient smile as Hannah steps into the shop.
Hi. Sorry to bother you. Wow, this is my first time at Russ and Daughters. This place is incredible.
Welcome to Russ and Daughters. You picked a great moment. The breakfast rush settled down about half an hour ago, perfect time at the appetizing counter. Is this your very first morning in the Lower East Side?
Yes. I just rode the subway down from Midtown Manhattan. What's the best way to enjoy Russ and Daughters?
Great question. Here at Russ and Daughters, the very first thing every visitor should do is grab a paper number ticket from the dispenser right here, then walk slowly along the long glass appetizing counter and just look. The hand-sliced lox glowing soft pink, the smoked whitefish, the sturgeon, the pickled herring, the tubs of cream cheese, the crisp half-sour pickles, the warm chocolate babka on the back shelf. Take a slow breath. Look at the counter. Then walk up to the appetizing counter when your number is called. The counter workers there know every classic in the whole shop.
Wow, the hand-sliced lox. And the fresh-baked bagels. Are they really baked fresh every morning?
You got it. The fresh-baked bagels arrive warm at Russ and Daughters every morning. Hand-sliced lox sliced paper thin to order on the long appetizing counter. Locals have been ordering lox bagels here since 1914. Meet me at Russ and Daughters for a lox bagel. That line means home to every Lower East Side local. That's the heart of Russ and Daughters.
That sounds amazing. Should I grab a number and head to the appetizing counter next?
Absolutely. And one more tip. My buddy James is working the lox station at the appetizing counter this morning. 25 years slicing lox at Russ and Daughters. Tell him David at the door sent you. He knows every hand-sliced classic in the shop since the early 2000s. He'll slice you the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop.
Wow, thank you so much, David. You just turned the Russ and Daughters door into my whole orientation.
That's what we do here. Welcome to Russ and Daughters. And welcome to the Lower East Side.
Wonderful, Hannah. Look at how she started. Hi. Sorry to bother you. Wow, this is my first time at Russ and Daughters. This place is incredible. 3 tiny ideas, but they do so much work. Sorry to bother you plus first time plus a real compliment about Russ and Daughters. That's a magic combo at any appetizing shop in the world. David instantly wanted to help. Then the big one. What's the best way to enjoy Russ and Daughters? Notice. She did not say. What do I order? Or where do I go? She asked specifically about the best way to enjoy Russ and Daughters. Those exact words turned David from a quiet door worker into her personal Russ and Daughters orientation guide. Also notice. Hannah asked a beautiful follow-up question. And the fresh-baked bagels. Are they really baked fresh every morning? That tiny question gave her the 1914 story, the Meet Me at Russ and Daughters for a lox bagel tradition, the heart of the long appetizing counter, and a personal recommendation to find James at the lox station. 1 question is good. 2 questions turn a shop worker into a guide. Use these phrases anywhere. At an appetizing shop, at a deli, at a bakery, at Russ and Daughters in the Lower East Side, anywhere in the world. Politeness plus asking about the best way to enjoy with real curiosity equals friends and incredible local tips. Hannah walks a few steps from the historic wooden door of Russ and Daughters across the black and white tiled floor, the warm shop lights wrapping around her, past the old wooden display cases lining the walls, toward the long glass appetizing counter at the heart of the shop. The appetizing shop hums warmly with the soft echo of footsteps on the black and white tiled floor, gentle Lower East Side chatter, and the soft slice of a long lox knife on the counter. High above the appetizing counter, the warm shop lights glow softly across the long glass counter of Russ and Daughters, the hand-sliced lox glowing soft pink under the warm light. At the lox station of the long appetizing counter, James, a friendly veteran counter worker in his 50s with kind eyes, warm olive skin, dark hair lightly graying at the temples, and a calm welcoming smile, wearing a plain white short-sleeved appetizing counter shirt under a plain white apron, stands with one hand resting easily on the long polished lox knife, the glowing pink hand-sliced lox laid out softly on the cool counter just in front of him, looking up with a warm patient smile.
Hi. Sorry to interrupt. David at the door sent me over. He said you're the man for Russ and Daughters hand-sliced lox.
David. Of course he did. He sends all the first-timers over to the lox station. Welcome to Russ and Daughters. What can I do for you?
James, could you recommend the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop?
Oh, with pleasure. Easy answer. A warm fresh-baked plain bagel from the basket behind me, sliced open warm. Then hand-sliced Gatsby Nova lox. Sliced paper thin right here on the long appetizing counter. Smooth cream cheese spread soft. A few capers. A few rings of thin red onion. Maybe a slice of tomato. That's the legendary hand-sliced lox bagel of Russ and Daughters. Locals have been ordering it on East Houston Street since 1914.
That sounds magical. And could you recommend the perfect bagel pairing?
Now that's the right question. Okay. With the hand-sliced lox bagel, grab a crisp half-sour pickle from the pickle tub. And a small piece of warm chocolate babka from the back shelf for after. There's a famous combo every Lower East Side local loves. Lox bagel, half-sour pickle, chocolate babka. Right here at the long appetizing counter. That's the perfect Russ and Daughters morning pairing.
That sounds incredible. How long have you been working at Russ and Daughters?
25 years. Started right here at the lox station when I was younger. Same long appetizing counter. Same fresh-baked bagels. Same hand-sliced Gatsby Nova lox. Same warm shop lights glowing across the long glass counter. The faces drifting across the black and white tiled floor change, but Russ and Daughters stays the same. That's why we love it on East Houston Street.
Wow, James, that's incredible. Where do locals actually sit and eat?
Great follow-up question. Right outside on East Houston Street. On the warm sunny stoop just beside the glowing neon Russ and Daughters sign. Unwrap the lox bagel slowly. Bite into the warm fresh-baked bagel. Watch the Lower East Side morning drift by. That's the Russ and Daughters way.
That makes so much sense. Thank you so much, James.
Head to the back corner near the babka shelf. And hey, my buddy Robert is working the back shelf today. Older gentleman, very kind. Tell him James sent you. He'll slice you a warm piece of chocolate babka and share the best classics in the whole Russ and Daughters shop.
I'll go find him right now. Thank you, James.
Welcome to Russ and Daughters. Come back to the lox station anytime.
Amazing. Look at what just happened at the long appetizing counter of Russ and Daughters in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Hannah did not just get a bagel. She got the whole story of the shop. The legendary hand-sliced Gatsby Nova lox, the perfect bagel pairing with half-sour pickle and chocolate babka, the 1914 tradition, the 25 years at the lock station. And a personal introduction to Robert at the back babka shelf. Why did the magic phrase work so well? Could you recommend the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop? Let us break it down. Could you recommend? Equals polite. Soft, open, friendly. James relaxed instantly. The best hand-sliced lox bagel. Equals specific. You are asking for the best hand-sliced lox bagel, not just any bagel. Hand-sliced makes James smile. You are not asking for the obvious things, you are asking like a real local. In the whole shop. Equals grounded. You are showing you trust James's daily knowledge of every classic at the long appetizing counter of Russ and Daughters. Also notice. Hannah mentioned. David at the door sent me over. That tiny phrase is golden at a packed appetizing shop. It tells James. Hey, I'm already part of the Russ and Daughters family. Suddenly the whole shop is on your team. And the simple line. Where do locals actually sit and eat? Confident, soft, polite. A small open question is the gentlest way to invite a whole Lower East Side morning ritual. Use these reactions everywhere in Manhattan and beyond. Hannah walks the long appetizing counter of Russ and Daughters from the lock station toward the warm back corner of the shop, the warm shop lights softening as she moves past the old wooden display cases. The back corner of Russ and Daughters glows warmly with soft amber lighting, the warm chocolate babka and cinnamon babka resting softly on the back shelf, the gentle hum of the appetizing counter drifting softly behind her. Right by the warm back shelf near the babka of Russ and Daughters, in a warm amber-lit corner of the shop, stands Robert. A friendly older Russ and Daughters counter worker in his 60s with kind eyes, neatly combed silver hair, warm fair skin, and a wide easy smile, wearing a plain white short-sleeved appetizing shop shirt under a plain white apron, gently arranging a small stack of plain paper bakery sheets beside the babka shelf, a few other regulars drifting softly through the warm back corner of the shop.
Hi. Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. James at the lock station sent me over. This is my first morning at Russ and Daughters, and he said you're the man for babka tips.
James sent you? Then welcome to Russ and Daughters. 30 years working the back shelf here in the Lower East Side, and a first-timer at the babka shelf is still my favorite kind of guest. What can I do for you?
Robert. What's the best appetizing classic to try?
Beautiful question. Okay. Here's how locals enjoy a morning at Russ and Daughters. First, always the hand-sliced lox bagel from the long appetizing counter. Warm fresh-baked bagel, paper-thin Gatsby Nova lox, smooth cream cheese, capers, red onion. Then, if you want a real Lower East Side morning, try a small piece of smoked whitefish salad on the side. Flaky, warm, smoky. Then a crisp half-sour pickle from the pickle tub. Then, for after, a warm slice of chocolate babka right here from the back shelf. That's a perfect Russ and Daughters morning.
That sounds magical, Robert. Is Russ and Daughters always this lively?
Pretty much. Russ and Daughters is the beating heart of the Lower East Side on East Houston Street. Neighborhood regulars on Sunday mornings, tourists with cameras, families with kids, Manhattan locals who've been coming since the 1970s. Everybody walks through this shop. That's why Russ and Daughters stays warm and busy from early morning to late afternoon.
Wow. And the sturgeon. Where do locals actually sit and eat?
Most warm mornings, locals drift right outside onto the sunny stoop on East Houston Street just beneath the glowing neon Russ and Daughters sign. Some unwrap a hand-sliced lox bagel. Some bite into a smoked sturgeon sandwich. Some share a piece of warm chocolate babka. The sunny stoop is the warm front parlor of Russ and Daughters. The perfect quiet eating spot just steps from the long appetizing counter.
That's amazing. What's the best way to enjoy Russ and Daughters?
Great question. Walk slow. Stand at the long appetizing counter. Watch James slice the hand-sliced lox paper thin. Order the warm fresh-baked bagel with smooth cream cheese. Grab a crisp half-sour pickle. Take a warm piece of chocolate babka from the back shelf. Step outside onto East Houston Street in the soft morning light. Don't rush. Don't take photos for 10 whole minutes. Just sit and eat. That's the Russ and Daughters way. Go enjoy the shop. I'll keep an eye on the babka shelf.
Wow, Robert. Thank you so much. You just made my whole morning at Russ and Daughters.
Walk slow, eat slow, and come back to Russ and Daughters anytime. Every morning on East Houston Street is a different New York story.
Wonderful. Hannah just stepped into one of the most legendary appetizing shops in all of the world. Russ and Daughters on East Houston Street in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And used 5 tiny, polite phrases to find the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop, the perfect bagel pairing with half-sour pickle and chocolate babka, and a personal morning plan from Robert at the back babka shelf. Notice. The biggest phrase of the day was, "Could you recommend the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop?" It worked perfectly with James at the long appetizing counter. The words, "the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop," are the secret. They work at any appetizing shop, any deli, any bakery, anywhere in the world. Politeness plus asking for the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop equals friendly counter workers turn into guides, friends, and personal morning leaders. At Russ and Daughters, in the Lower East Side, in any city, in any country. Okay. Now it is quiz time. Quiz time. When Hannah walked up to the long appetizing counter at the lock station of Russ and Daughters, she could have just said, "What's good?" Or "What should I get?" Instead, she used one little phrase that turned a packed appetizing counter into her personal Russ and Daughters lox tour and scored her the legendary hand-sliced lox bagel of the morning. Warm fresh-baked bagel, paper-thin Gatsby Nova lox, smooth cream cheese, capers, red onion. What was that magic phrase? A. What's good? B. Could you recommend the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop? C. What should I get? Write A, B, or C in the comments right now. I read every single comment and I will reply to let you know if you got it right. Amazing work today, everyone. Now you have 5 powerful phrases that will turn any appetizing shop and any friendly counter worker anywhere in the world into a smooth, warm, beautiful moment. Could you recommend the best hand-sliced lox bagel in the whole shop? What's the best way to enjoy Russ and Daughters? Could you recommend the perfect bagel pairing? Where do locals actually sit and eat? What's the best appetizing classic to try? Remember, Russ and Daughters on East Houston Street in the Lower East Side of Manhattan has been the heart of New York City appetizing shop life since 1914. The hand-sliced Gatsby Nova lox, the fresh-baked bagels, the smoked whitefish, the sturgeon, the pickled herring, the cream cheese, the half-sour pickles, the warm chocolate babka, the glowing neon Russ and Daughters sign, the black and white tiled floor. With these 5 phrases, you don't just visit Russ and Daughters. You become part of the story of the Lower East Side. If this video helped you, please hit that like button and subscribe to Easy English with Emma. It seriously means the world to me. And next time, Hannah is going to ride the subway back uptown from the Lower East Side for a real New York City afternoon at one of the most iconic green parks in all of Midtown Manhattan. Bryant Park. The legendary public park right behind the New York Public Library on 6th Avenue between 40th and 42nd Street, world famous for its wide green lawn, its quiet reading chairs, its leafy London plane trees, its warm cinematic old New York afternoon atmosphere, and its famous winter ice rink. Wait till you hear the one polite phrase Hannah uses with a friendly Bryant Park worker that turns a packed green lawn into her personal Bryant Park afternoon and scores her the best quiet reading spot in the whole park. You will use this exact phrase the next time you want the best quiet spot at any park, anywhere in the world. See you next time. Bye bye.